So this is one piece of the puzzle that I was pretty concerned about if it was going to be a lot of CGI or something, but it seems like they are going to go the Lord of the Rings route and film in New Zealand, which I can see a land of Hyrule fitting in perfectly over there. But Legend of Zelda movie reportedly planned for a live action trilogy with Sony will film in New Zealand like Lord of the Rings. And of course, can't read the rest of it. Um, I'm sure there's another article about it. Let me look it up. Okay, here's videogamechronicle.com. Nintendo reportedly plotting a Zelda movie trilogy with filming set for New Zealand. Major roles will be signed for 3 movies over 6 years, which is a pretty good amount of time for it to pass, which means they'll probably do exactly what they did with Lord of the Rings, like film pretty much all at one time. According to the production list, as tracking service run by the Film and Television Industry Alliance, Zelda will shoot in New Zealand from November 2025 to April 2026. Nintendo announced on Friday that the Zelda movie will release in March 2027. The site offers a synopsis of the movie. Zelda will follow Link, a young warrior destined to protect the magical kingdom of Hyrule from the forces of darkness. I feel like I should be doing like previously on Dragon Ball Z, that kind of voice. The land is under threat from Ganon, a ruthless warlord. A ruthless warlord who seeks the Triforce, an ancient relic said to grant limitless power. Synopsis continued. To stop him, Link must embark on a perilous journey, battling monstrous creatures, exploring treacherous dungeons. I wonder how the dungeons will work in this movie, in the movies. I mean, because even in games, they don't take very long unless you're freaking stupid. But like, how are they gonna, because dungeons are a huge part of every Zelda. Like, there's really no Zelda game that has like no dungeons or temples or whatever you want to call them. So, like, how are they gonna incorporate those into? Are we gonna see Link having huge boss battles, obtaining items in those dungeons and using them? Like he's like, oh, I have to go to Dodongo's cavern. We're gonna find him, getting the bombs there and then using them on King Dodongo. Although one boss I would love to see in the movie would be Phantom Ganon. It would make perfect sense. Or Dark, Shadow Link or Dark Link. To me, those would be the perfect enemies to throw in a movie. Um, and solving intricate puzzles to uncover sacred artifacts that can aid him in his quest. Furthermore, movie industry insider Daniel Rickman has claimed that Nintendo and Sony Pictures are planning a potential movie trilogy for Zelda. According to Rickman, all major acting roles will be signed for 3 films planned over 6 years. Legend of Zelda third franchise is the third Nintendo franchise into film to receive franchise to receive film treatment in recent years. Detective Pikachu and Super Mario, yeah, both were really really good. I mean, I really like Detective Pikachu. I never played the. I mean, I seen the game, and obviously I knew the plot of the game. Um, but to see, it's just the most offsetting thing was Ryan Reynolds' voice coming out of Pikachu. And that was, but once you really like got into the movie and you got used to it, it's like, you know what, it kind of does make sense. It does make sense. It's, but then just to kind of throw it in there, they had the original voice of Pikachu, uh, and like flashbacks and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, hearing Ryan Reynolds, his voice coming out of Pikachu, um, it was a little weird, weird, weird. But it worked, and the Super Mario Brothers movie was really fun. I mean, I think people didn't like the fact that Bowser was a bigger simp, for Peach. Because it's like, oh my god, they turned him into a simp. He's always been a simp for Peach. Have you not played the Mario games? He's always been a simp for her. He really doesn't want to do anything major with her. I bring up like, look at like Mario Sunshine. He kidnaps her, and then where do we find them? We have to go through the mountain, shoot up into what space or whatever the hell it is. What happens? We find them relaxing in like a hot tub type thing, and Peach is just there on her little floaty with it, you know. Oh, so evil. So Bowser's not evil. He's always been a simp for Peach. Um, Also, people were complaining about Peach being a girl boss. It's like, okay, what's your point? I mean, you really want her to be the stereotypical Mario, the damsel in distress all the time. She's had her moments where like Super Princess Peach, where while it is her using her emotions as power, it's still a really good game, and it shows the Princess Peach having to do things on her own, trying to get through, But I thought it was fun, because it's not like she really needs to save Mario. It's just it showed her being more proactive. Not the princess who's constantly getting captured, but a princess who can rule her kingdom. I didn't see like I love Mario. I didn't see a problem with Princess Peach doing something. But yeah, it kind of makes me wonder with like Zelda, are we gonna see Sheik? Is Sheik gonna be part of it? And what about other characters? Impa. I mean, Impa has so many incarnations. I would imagine that we would see the different races, obviously. The Deku, Goron, Zora, oh, oh, the Gerudo. Yeah. Um, they can throw me in jail anytime. Those carpenters just didn't know what they were missing. But yeah, it's cool to hear that they're going to be filming in New Zealand. Like I said, I was more concerned about them just CGIing everything, where it's like they're just in a studio and they're just like CGIing everything. You can it's not as engaging or magical when it's CGI. What's engaging and magical is when you film in those locations and either build things and whatever to kind of as a stand-in, and then you can CGI over that. But like those in Lord of the Rings, those shots where you saw them running across the plains and all that, they were actually doing that. That wasn't CGI. They were actually out in the open like that, walking through the forests and stuff like that. It wasn't CGI. That was them actually doing it. So a lot of stuff was outside, which is it adds to the authenticity. It's like it's the land of Hyrule. You want it to feel like the land of Hyrule. You don't want it to be just some CGI mess. Obviously when it comes to like the creatures, the Zora and the Goron, the Koroks, if the Koroks are even going to be in there, or some incarnation, some iteration of forest creatures, those would probably need CGI. But the land itself, Hyrule itself, looks enough like the real world to where you shouldn't have to CGI anything in. I mean, you have your statues and your stuff like that, yeah, but the landscape itself looks close enough to the real world where you shouldn't have to do a lot of CGI. And that's one problem with movies is they rely too heavily on CGI. But that's not going to seem to be an issue, hopefully. But then the biggest thing is the cast, especially Link. Link, I mean, the guy doesn't talk. He doesn't talk. So what are they going to do? What's he going to do? What's he going to look like? Because you don't want to buff Link, because Link is not only made to look androgynous for a reason, but it also shows that while he may not be physically powerful, his strength doesn't come from his physical nature. It comes from his courage. You know, that's where he draws power from. That's why he needs the assistance of like power bracelets and the Goron bracelet and all this other stuff, because physically while he is strong, his real power, his real strength comes from his courage. But then you look at Ganondorf and you see him, how large he is, his muscle, especially in Tears of the Kingdom. Whew. And you see, like, that is a man who admires strength. He admires power. That's what he seeks. So he is physically represented by the thing that he represents the most, that he admires the most: power, strength. So whoever plays Link, I don't want them, Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt. No, it's gonna be introduced and Jack Black is I am Link. No, I think if that was the case, people would just walk out. I would not want to sit there for an hour and a half listening to Jack Black as Link. Just no. Chris Pratt is Link. He's not gonna. Chris Pratt isn't gonna portray Link. He's gonna voice Link. You're gonna hear the ha yeah, and it's just gonna be Chris Pratt. But yeah. Uh, I hope it's something good, because Zelda has been the one movie that they've wanted to try, they never did. And considering Nintendo seems to be able to make movies based on video games now and have them good, Zelda should be okay. I mean, I'm wanting to go and see this movie and have like my balls blown off by how amazing it is. But if I go there and it's still just like, oh, it was good, that's I just don't want to go there and be like, what? What? I seriously wasted money on this? No, I don't want that. If I go there and I was still slightly entertained, I consider that a win, because it proved that they didn't make it terrible, you know? But yeah, New Zealand or somewhere close, like somewhere like New Zealand, filming there, that's a great start. Because again, some of those shots, go back and watch Lord of the Rings. Some of those panned out shots where you see the three of them running across, and the music is. But just imagine that with Link, and then it pans out and you hear, do 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 as he's running. Cinema. And just the shots they could possibly do, like with Hyrule Castle, or if Ganondorf's gonna have a tower, the panning shots, this like having the camera kind of spin around it, like going around, and you're seeing all these layers and floors and possibly windows where you can get a glimpse of inside of things going on. That would be really, really cool. Maybe when we get introduced to the forest, maybe have a little nod to Ocarina of Time, where it's, you see the camera and it kind of goes in the same way that we see Navi doing in Ocarina of Time, as a little reference to Ocarina of Time. Be pretty cool. But yeah, I think casting will be the biggest issue here. But anyway, that's gonna do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.